All right. Welcome to yoga, everyone. Thank you for joining me this morning. We're going to start seated. So go ahead and make your way into your comfortable seat. If you need to pause and grab a folded blanket or a towel, maybe a bolster to sit on, go ahead and do that. And then before we settle into stillness, just find any movement that feels good. If your body is really craving stillness, then you can absolutely go there. But I like to kind of start with some movement, maybe lifting the arms, rolling the shoulders, just to kind of become present in the body. Maybe turning the head gently from side to side, or gently nodding up and down. And then maybe swaying a little bit in your seat, side to side, front and back. Noticing how you're stacking through the spine. You can even take a few little circles. Just noticing, is your natural tendency to lean further forward? Do you normally lean further back? Is more of your weight on one side than the other? Go ahead and come into stillness and notice, making sure that the head is stacked right over the heart, right over the hips. And then let's all squeeze the shoulders up to the ears and release them. 2 more times. Roll the shoulders up, squeeze them towards the ears, and release them. Once more. Squeeze the shoulders up and let them go. And then allow the eyes to soften or to close if that's comfortable for you. Hands can just rest comfortably in the lap. Palms can be face up or face down. That's your choice. And then take a moment here to tag a little bit of weight into each elbow, into each knee. Feeling the hips releasing down into whatever you're sitting on. Feeling the feet grow a little heavy, the ankles, the thighs. And then feeling that weight in the elbows, feel the shoulders start to drop. Maybe even finding a little tiny micro tuck of the chin towards the chest. So the top of the head should still mostly be pointing up towards the ceiling, but just kind of dropping the chin just a little bit to find that length in the back of the neck. And then taking a moment here to begin to scan the body, noticing what tension is present, noticing any feelings or thoughts that you brought with you onto the mat. And just acknowledging them, not trying to block them, just acknowledging that they're there and beginning to gently set them aside as you move your attention to the breath. And seeing if you can begin to deepen each inhale and lengthen each exhale. Maybe the breath is already feeling nice and smooth for you today. Maybe it's feeling a little bit stuck or a little choppy. Just doing your best to make each breath a little bit longer. And seeing if you can draw each inhale all the way down into the belly. And seeing if you can allow each exhale to release fully. And then taking a moment here to think about connection. The connection of your tailbone to the mat or to your seat. And the connection of the body and the breath. feeling how the breath moves through the body. And recognizing that it's always a part of you. This rhythm of life, this up and down, this ocean wave. And then spending a moment thinking about what else in your life you're connected to, friends or family, maybe hobbies or activities, maybe your pets. And then thinking about what else you want to be connected with. Maybe you want to be more connected to the breath or to your body. And then narrowing it down even more, thinking about what you want to be connected to on your mat today. Maybe you want to feel present in each movement, fully connected to the body. Maybe you want to remember to bring your connection back to the breath anytime you lose it. Maybe you want to feel connected to your props, to how they support you, or the earth beneath your mat. And just taking one more moment, one more breath here to consider that. And then when you're ready, slowly beginning to drop the chin towards the chest. Feeling that gentle opening in the back of the neck, let the shoulder blades slide down the back. And even beyond tagging a little bit of weight into the elbows, see if you can actively press them down just a little bit. Take one more breath here in center. And then slowly beginning to trace the collarbones with the chin. So drawing little half circles. Moving nice and slow, keeping that connection to the breath, letting the movement follow that. And then maybe staying with these half circles, or maybe beginning to find some other movement. Maybe nodding the head up and down again, nice and slow. Or turning the chin side to side. Maybe beginning to draw some circles with the nose. Or rolling the shoulders. Just beginning to find any movement that feels good for you in the neck and shoulders. And if you're circling, go ahead and reverse the direction. And then bringing the head back to stillness. Go ahead and open the eyes if they're still closed. And let's take the right hand out to the right side. And we're going to start to draw some figure eights with the wrist. So moving nice and slow, starting low and then moving higher as you go. Seeing if you can make this movement coming from the whole arm. So feel it in the shoulder, feel it in all sections of the arm, and even in the fingertips. And once you get up as high as you'd like to go, take some wrist rolls. Make sure you go in both directions. And then find stillness in the arm. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale, we're going to find a side bend to the left. So left hand comes down to the mat, only going as far as feels comfortable for you, where you can still keep that right hip and glute on the mat. Maybe trying to open the chest a little towards the ceiling. Take one more breath here. And then slowly come back up. And let's take a twist to the left. So right hand comes to the left leg. Left hand comes behind. Let's sit up nice and tall. And then let's take the chin back over to the right. So the chin is looking opposite of the way that you're twisting. Take one breath here. And then if you'd like, you can stay here, or you can find a gentle tuck of the chin down towards your shoulder. So stretching through the left side of the neck, not pulling or pressing hard. Give it one more breath. And then gently lift the chin. Take one breath where you are here. And then let's take the head slowly back through center all the way over to the right. Take one more breath here. Sit up nice and tall. And then slowly unwind, come back to center. So let's do the same thing on the left side. Let's start to take those figure eights with the wrist, moving nice and slow, starting to go up gradually. Seeing if you can get a little bit more of the arm involved maybe than you usually do. And when you've gone up as high as you want to go, just take some wrist circles. And inhale to sit up nice and tall. And exhale, we're going to move into our side bend to the right. So right hip keeps dropping down. Feeling that length in the right side body, maybe opening the chest towards the ceiling just a little bit. And then slowly coming all the way back up. Let's take our twist to the right. So left hand comes to the right leg. Right hand can come behind that hip. Sit up nice and tall here. And then let's take our chin back over to the left. And then maybe stay here, or maybe drop the chin. Just a gentle tuck. And breathing into the right side of the neck. And then nice and slow, lift the chin back up. Take one breath here. And then slowly take the chin back over to the right. Sit up nice and tall. One more breath. And then nice and slow, come back to center. All right. So option here, we're going to do a seated cat-cow. If you're sitting and the legs are crossed, go ahead and switch. We've been sitting for a while, so less habitual cross of the legs. So we're going to do seated cat-cow today, and there's a couple of options. So we'll start with the one that doesn't move as much. So go ahead and catch around the knees, or you can even hold below the thighs, wherever's most comfortable for you. And we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to lift through the chest and draw the shoulders back. Maybe lift the chin a little bit. Inhale here. And on your exhale, the chin draws to the chest first, then the shoulders come forward. Belly button squeezes towards your spine, and you're really rounding. You can use the hands against the shins here at the knees to help you round. And then inhale, rolling up again. Opening the heart, chin lifts, shoulders draw back. And exhaling, dropping the chin, rolling down through the spine. Belly button squeezing in. And you can stay with this movement for your seated cat-cow, or you can start to take a cat-cow circle. So on your inhale, you're still opening the chest, but you're circling around. It doesn't matter which direction. We'll go both ways. And then rounding back on the exhale. So whichever one feels more comfortable to you, moving with the breath. Being careful with the head when you're opening the chin towards the ceiling. Make sure you're not crunching the back of the neck. So moving in a circle or just rolling up and down. And if you're circling, go ahead and reverse the direction. Moving nice and slow. Still finding that opening in the back as you pull back, that opening in the heart as you pull forward. Take one more round wherever you are. And then come back to center, rolling up through the spine if you were tucked, moving nice and slow. And let's come into table. So take your time arriving. Grab any props you might need or move any aside that you don't need. A little towel folded under the knees can be really nice, or under the wrists. Excuse me. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So from your table, we're going to thread the needle. So keeping the left hand planted, we're going to lift the right hand up 3 times. So inhale, right hand reaches, and exhale, we're just dipping that right hand under the left arm, rounding through that right shoulder. Inhale to lift, try and keep the hips straight. Exhale, just dipping that hand under. 1 more time. Inhale to reach. And exhale, thread the needle here. Releasing down onto the right side of the head. You can always use a block if the floor feels far away today. Maybe just keeping that left hand near your head with the elbow bent. You can also slide it forward towards the top of your mat. Or you can send it to the low back. Whatever feels good. If you want a more active version of the pose, you can extend that left leg long, pressing into the toes. And then I encourage you, wherever you are, to notice the connections of your body to the mat. Notice all the points of contact. Really feeling that grounding, that attachment to your foundation. And then remembering that connection to the breath. See if you can release a little bit more on the exhale. Take 1 more breath. And nice and slow, release the knee if it was lifted. Draw that left hand back by the head. And slowly press yourself back up. Let's take a couple of traditional cat-cows before we do the other side. So inhale, belly drops, heart opens, tailbone lifts. Exhale, rounding through the spine, really press away from the hands and feet. Inhale, belly drops. And exhale, rounding through the spine, chin to chest. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, drop the belly, open your heart, lift the top of the head. Exhale, rounding through, tailbone draws down. Let's come back to table, and we'll thread the needle on the other side. So right hand stays planted. On your inhale, left fingertips reach. Exhale, just dip that left hand under the right arm. Inhale to reach. Exhale, dip that hand under. 1 more time, keep the hips straight as straight as you can. Inhale, lift. Exhale, thread the needle. Softening that left hand down towards the floor, maybe keeping this right hand by the face, or maybe extending it or taking it towards the ceiling or low back. Each side is different, so noticing where you're feeling connected on this side. Maybe you want to extend the leg, maybe not. Reconnecting to the breath if you've lost it. Take one more breath into the side body. And then nice and slow, rebend the elbow and knee, releasing that hand if it was lifted, slowly coming back up. And let's go ahead and curl the toes under, and we're going to find our first downward dog. So send the hips up and back. Doesn't matter if your heels touch the mat. Make sure you have a comfortable distance between your hands and feet. So if you feel like all the weight is shifting forward in your down dog, go ahead and move your hands a little bit further back or walk your feet a little bit towards your hands. Give yourself a little less space. You're really trying, ideally, to press the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Take as much of a bend in the knees as you need. Maybe even take your dog for a little walk here. Bending one knee and then the other. Pressing more into the index finger and thumb and drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe give your head a little shake here, yes and no. And then come into stillness in your down dog. Look forward at your hands. Take a nice slow walk or just step up to meet the hands. Bend your knees generously. Hang forward into your ragdoll. See if you can balance the weight between your heels and your toes here. Maybe clasping opposite elbows. Maybe finding a little sway. Let the head and neck just be heavy. Give it one more breath. And then release the hands. And let's bend the knees extra generously. Press through the feet. Engage the core as you start to slowly roll up. Chin is the very last thing to lift. Once you've arrived, go ahead and shake it out if you need to. All right. So let's come into our strong mountain pose. So feet about hip distance apart. They can also be a little closer if that makes you feel more stable. And then either press the feet away from each other. Imagine that you could rip your mat in half. That's really going to engage the legs, but make sure your knees are still a little soft, have a little bend in them. So you're pressing down into the feet. Imagine pulling them away from each other. Find a drop in the tailbone. And let's inhale, reach the arms up, grab a hold of the right wrist, and gently draw up towards the ceiling first, and then over to the left. That right hip is going over to the right. See if you can keep the weight pretty even through the feet though. And inhale back up to center. Grab a hold of the left wrist now. Think up towards the ceiling first and then over to the right. Left hip is going to the left. And inhale back up to center. Let's spread the hands wide. So imagine you're holding a giant beach ball up overhead. Inhale here. Exhale, squeeze the shoulders together, squeeze the elbows down. 2 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze. And once more, lift that big beach ball. Inhale. And exhale, squeeze. All right, let's do some half sun salutations. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, hands come down the center line as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Belly button draws towards the spine. Nice long back. Exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, let's roll up again, nice and slow, pressing through the feet. And coming back to your mountain. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, palms come down the center line as you fold. Moving nice and slow, feeling that connection to the breath. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to the legs for support. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, repeat that slow roll. Belly button is pulling towards the spine to protect the back. And exhale in your mountain. One more time, just like that. Inhale, reach. And exhale, hips go back as you fold, bend the knees. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, let it go. Soften and fold, let the neck go. Bend the knees generously. Press through the feet as you roll up. And exhale in your mountain. So a couple of options here. We're going to do 3 more rounds. And if you're having any sensitivity in the knees today, or if you're feeling like you'd like just a gentler approach, stick with what we've been doing. 3 more rounds of the half sun salutations we've been doing. If you want to work on a little strength building, working up a little heat in the body today, then we're going to start our salutations with chair. So step the feet a little closer together if you're taking chair. And turn the big toes in, turn the heels out a little bit. That's going to create a more stable platform for you. So you want to kind of press the knees towards each other in chair. And we're going to start with the hands at the heart instead of lifting them up, just for a little ease on the shoulders. So sink the hips back as if you're sitting into a tall bar stool. Your weight is going to shift more into your heels. You can even lift the toes a little bit to check that. Inhale here. And exhale, find your fold, straighten the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, we're going to sweep the arms up as we lift. And exhale, hands together at the heart. So if you find that too challenging today, or it's just not what you're looking for, return back to the other version of sun salutations. We'll do 2 more like this, or you can do 2 more the other way. So if you're coming into chair, inhale, sit the hips back. Hands can stay at the heart or they can lift this time. And exhale, hands come together as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift, belly button hugs in. And exhale, let it go. You can either roll up or you can press through the feet, reach through the hands, come all the way up. And exhale, hands together at the heart. 1 more round, your choice, which version. Inhale, sink the hips back if you're sitting into chair. Maybe reach the arms up. Exhale, find your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, let it go. Rolling up or sweeping the arms up as you lift. And exhale, hands together at the heart. Very nice, everyone. All right. Ooh, feel free to grab water if you need to. We built a little bit of heat there. Mass exodus to water bottles. All right, I'll take advantage as well. All right, let's step the feet nice and wide. And then we're going to turn the right toes to the right. And then check in with the alignment of your feet. So I think I've talked about this before. Traditionally in yoga, the front heel, so that would be our right heel, would be in line with the arch of the back foot. That's the most traditional stance. So if that feels comfortable to you, if you feel connected to your mat here and really stable, that's great. But not everyone's anatomy in the hips is the same, so you can play around with it. Maybe it's more comfortable to have that right heel in line with your left toes. Or maybe it's more comfortable to have the two heels in line with each other. So playing around with that, finding the version that's most comfortable for you, where you feel most connected to your mat. And then let's take the arms out to the sides. So warrior two arms, and we're gonna bend that right knee. Doesn't have to be a huge bend. If you're looking to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can take a deeper bend. Just make sure the knee's not going past the ankle in front. So drop the shoulders here, draw the pinkies back a little bit. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades. You're looking out over that right hand. Take one more breath, pressing into both feet evenly. And then on your next inhale, let's straighten through the leg, reach the arms together overhead. They don't have to touch. And exhale, rebend back into warrior two, nice and strong. Inhale, lift through the center channel. And exhale, rebend. One more time. Inhale to lift. And exhale to bend. Let's straighten that right knee. Release the left hand to the thigh. Flip the right palm so it faces the ceiling. And then think up, lengthening both sides of the waist as we come into our reverse triangle. So you will feel a little compression on that left side, but see if you can still think about length. And then slowly come back to warrior two arms and release the arms down. Let's turn those right toes in and let's heel toe the feet together for a moment. Shake out the legs. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, float the palms down to the heart. And inhale, opposite, hands together, lift. Exhale, open the hands wide. Two more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, float the palms down to the heart. And inhale to lift. And exhale, open wide. Last one. Inhale, reach. Feel that length. Exhale, hands come together at the heart. And inhale, press the palms up. Exhale, open them wide. Very nice, everyone. We're gonna switch into that warrior series on the other side. So step the feet wide one more time. And let's turn the left toes to the left. And then take a moment to notice the alignment of your feet. It's not gonna be the same necessarily on each side. So play around with that heel placement in comparison to the right foot. Notice where you feel most stable. And then when you found that, let's extend the arms out and find that bend. So each knee is a little different. Maybe this is a slightly less bent knee, or maybe it's slightly more. See if you can soften the shoulders while keeping the arms lifted and draw the pinkies a little bit back. And then on your next inhale, straighten the leg, reach the hands up, and exhale back into warrior two. Inhale, press through the feet as you straighten, and exhale, rebend. One more time. Inhale, lift through the center channel as you press up, and exhale, bend. Straighten that left leg one more time. Release the right hand. Flip that left palm and reach it up. Think about lengthening both sides of the waist. Breathing in your reverse triangle. Take one more breath. And then slowly come back. Release the arms. Let's turn both feet back to center. Go ahead and heel toe the feet together. Shake out the legs if you need to. All right. So let's inhale, reach the palms up, reach the hands up, and exhale, take them down the center line as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Bend the knees really generously here. If it's comfortable for you, go ahead and grab onto the big toes with the first 2 fingers and the thumb. Often yoga teachers will call this your peace fingers. You can widen the feet a little bit if you need to here. And really seriously bend the knees. And then inhale, extend the back, only as much as you can. You're not going to come to flat back. And exhale, bend the elbows, draw the top of the head down. So this is a really nice release for the back. See if you can soften the shoulders. If this doesn't work for you, you can go ahead and release the feet and just clasp opposite elbows. Give it one more breath. And then release the toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step to your downward dog for one breath. And then lower the knees. Find child's pose or puppy posture. Maybe keep the toes curled under if you want a nice stretch through the feet. If the shoulders are feeling sensitive, bend the elbows more, take them out to the edges of your mat. Feeling all those points of connection with your body and the mat. Seeing if you can soften into those areas. Give it one more breath here. Maybe rock your forehead a little side to side. And then slowly walk the hands back. If the toes were curled under, go ahead and give them a little pat against your mat to wake them back up again. And let's come to a seat. So if you have any tightness in the hips or the low back, go ahead and sit up on something like a bolster or a block. We're just going to sit and get into the neck before we take it down to the back. All right. So coming to a nice comfortable seat here. And let's open the arms nice and wide. And then reach for opposite shoulders, right arm on top. Oops, I'm going to try not to block my microphone here. So reaching for your shoulders, feeling that rounding in the back. And then go ahead and lift the elbows and then press them together, nice and strong. See if you can feel the legs be nice and heavy here. Breathing into the belly. Pressing the elbows together. On your next inhale, maybe lift the elbows a little bit more. Exhale, press them. Give it one more breath. And then slowly release. Shake the arms out a little bit. That's an eagle arms alternative. So sometimes it's easier for people. Sometimes it's a little bit harder. Let's go ahead and open the arms nice and wide again. We'll do the other side. This time, left arm is crossing on top as you reach for the shoulders. Taking a moment here to breathe into that opening in the back of the shoulders. And then lifting the elbows. And then pressing them strongly against each other. So it doesn't have to be so strong that you're feeling any pain. But if you're feeling a little shaking in the arms, that's okay. Building a little strength here as well. Inhale, lifting the elbows a little bit higher, pressing them together. Give it one more breath. And then slowly release. Shake the arms out, maybe take a couple of shoulder rolls. All right. And then let's just sit up nice and tall. Hands can be on your legs, and just drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Breathing here. And then nice and gently start to press that right shoulder away from the ear. So you're pressing the right elbow, the right shoulder down. It's okay, it's gonna make your shoulders a little offline, that's okay. So still reaching the right ear towards the right shoulder and pressing that right shoulder down and away. And then maybe this is enough, or maybe extending that left hand, keeping it pretty low out to the side and really reaching through those left fingertips. So the arm is nice and straight. So go through your checklist one more time. Right ear reaching towards that right shoulder, maybe a little bit more. Pressing, actively pressing that right shoulder down and away, and really reaching, extending through those left fingertips. Take one more breath. And then slowly coming back up, nice and slow. Maybe give the shoulders a little roll here. And we'll move into the other side. When you're ready, left ear drops over the left shoulder. Breathing here first before you drop anything. Feeling that opening in the right side of the neck, and then start to press that left shoulder, that left elbow down. So still reaching the head as much as feels comfortable, really actively pressing that left shoulder down. And if it feels comfortable, extending the right hand, keeping it pretty low, really reaching through the right fingers. Breathing into the right side of the neck. Maybe reaching that left ear a little more towards the shoulder. Actively press that shoulder down and then actively reach through those right fingers for one more breath. And then nice and slow, release. Maybe take a couple of shoulder rolls here. Notice how your neck feels. And then we're gonna come down onto our back. So take your time, moving aside any props or grabbing any props that you think you might need for your Shavasana, because we're not gonna come back up again. You may want to keep a strap nearby if you think you're gonna need it. We might be lifting the leg up. So go ahead and grab your strap or towel if you think you might want a little arm extender. And then gently, carefully lower yourself onto your back. And once you arrive on your back, go ahead and take your feet as wide as your yoga mat and take some windshield wipers with the knees. And then taking the feet back to hip distance apart. Let's go ahead and hug that right knee into the chest. Keep the left foot on the mat. And let's take some ankle circles with the right foot. Make sure you go in both directions. And then press that left foot into the mat for stability. Draw the belly button down towards your spine and start to take some circles with that right hip, really trying to isolate that movement just in the hip. Opening the knee out to the side and bringing it back through center. You will move a little bit. We're just trying to isolate as much as we can. And then reverse the direction. Circling that knee the other way, opening the hip. You can use the hand to guide the leg, or you could just roll the leg itself. And then come back to center, hug that knee in. If you want to use a strap as an extender here, you can take it around the bottom of the foot and you can extend that right foot up towards the ceiling. So either holding on to the leg here, you can have as much of a bend in the knee as you like. If you're feeling any pain or pinching in the hamstrings, please bend the knee more. Maybe pointing and flexing the foot. Breathing here, gently encouraging that right leg towards your front body, but not actively pulling. Take one more breath here. And then go ahead and rebend that right knee, and let's cross the right ankle over the left thigh, taking the right knee out to the side. Maybe this is enough of a hip opener for you today. Maybe just gently using the right palm to press into that right thigh. Or if you'd like to thread the needle here, taking reclined pigeon, you can go ahead and grab hold of the left leg. You can also take a strap around it as a little arm extender. Both feet are flexed and active if they're lifted. Maybe rocking the hips very, very little side to side if that feels good. Taking a deep, deep, full breath. And on your exhale, soften the upper body, soften the shoulders, soften the neck, soften the muscles of the face. Breathing into that right hip. Seeing if you can soften and release, if you can let something go with every exhale. Give it one more breath here. And then release the hands from behind the leg or release the strap. Go ahead and release that left foot down to the mat and hug the right knee into the chest again and extend that left leg long down your mat. And for now, you can go ahead and flex the foot on that leg so the leg is nice and active. And then just gently open that right knee out to the side a little, just out to the right. One more inhale here. And then on your exhale, start to draw that right knee over to the left. So coming into our supine twist, letting that right hip lift off the mat. If it's comfortable, you can extend that right arm out to the side, or you can take a half cactus with the elbow bent. Breathing into the right side body, into that right hip. Give it one more breath here. And then nice and slow, hug the belly button in as you start to take that right knee back to center. Keep the left leg extended. We're going to release the right foot to the mat with the knee bent and then let that knee open to the right. So we're in our reclined tree. And the feet can soften a bit here. You don't have to clench the toes or flex them super hard. Just letting that right knee release to gravity. Hands can come to the belly or they can lift up overhead. If they're lifting, go ahead and keep lots of space between the arms and the ears. Deep, full belly breaths. Feel every point of contact, that connection between you and the mat. And then slowly release the arms down if they were lifted. Go ahead and use your right hand to gently close that right knee. Let's rebend the left knee as well. And we're going to move into the other side. So hug that left knee into the chest. Go ahead and take some ankle circles with that left foot. Going in both directions. Right foot stays planted. Engage the core as we start to do those circles with the left hip and knee. So opening that left knee out to the side and then bringing it back through center. And then reversing the direction when you're ready. And then taking the left knee back to center, grabbing your strap if you want it as a little extender of the arms here, and then extending the left foot up towards the ceiling. So again, you can keep as much of a bend, like even if your knee is this bent, that's totally fine. You're still just opening the back of the leg. Maybe pointing and flexing the toes here. Breathing space and length into the body. Give it one more breath. And then nice, slow, rebend that left knee. And let's cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Left knee out to the side. And again, if this is enough of a hip opener for you, just maybe gently pressing that left hand into the left thigh. Or you can go ahead and press off through the right foot, thread the needle here. Maybe using a strap behind the leg or maybe interlacing your fingers. Both feet are gonna flex. And when you arrive in your version of the pose, take a deep, deep breath into the belly. Exhale, let it go. Soften the shoulders, soften the arms, the upper body. Let the neck and head relax. Maybe rocking tiny rocks side to side in the hips. Breathing into that left hip. Letting it soften and release a little bit more with every exhale. And go ahead and take one more deep, deep breath here. And then slowly release the hands or the strap that was behind the right leg. Release that right foot to the mat. And then hug the left knee into the chest one more time. Extend that right leg long down your mat and flex that foot. So active leg. And then gently opening that left knee out to the left just a little, couple inches or so. One more inhale here. And on your exhale, start to take that left knee across the body over to the right. That left hip is going to lift. Left arm can go out to the left, or you can take that half cactus arm. Breathing here. Feeling that opening, that space in the left side body. And give it one more deep, deep breath. And then hug the belly button towards your spine as you slowly rock back onto your back. Release the left foot to the mat with the knee still bent and just open that left knee out to the side. So you're in your reclined tree. Let the feet soften. Hands can come to the belly or they can reach back up overhead with the backs of the arms resting on your mat. Deep, deep belly breaths. See if you can start to lengthen the exhale just a little bit more than the inhale. Take one more breath here. And then slowly release the arms down if they were lifted. Use the left hand against the left leg to gently close that left leg. Go ahead and extend the left leg long. Maybe take a full body stretch, reaching the hands up overhead again, pointing through the toes. And then slowly releasing, making your way into any comfortable position for your Shavasana. Maybe taking any movement you need on the way there. One more set of windshield wipers or a happy baby. Using any props that might feel good, a bolster under the knees or under the back, a pillow under the head. And once you've found your comfortable Shavasana, your final resting pose, allowing the eyes to soften or close. And let's all take a deep, deep, full breath in through the nose. And a long sigh out. Deep, deep breath in. Long letting go, sigh out. And one more time. Deep, full breath into the belly. And sigh it out, let it go. Returning your attention to the connection of the body to the mat. Letting your connection to the breath begin to soften as the breath returns to its natural rhythm. Feeling the body begin to grow heavier, releasing to gravity. Feeling the muscles of the face begin to soften, the space between the eyes, the temples, the jaw. Even relaxing your tongue. Feeling the throat and neck release as the collarbones broaden and soften, shoulders melting into your mat. Arms are heavy and relaxed, and tagging a little bit of weight into each finger and each toe. And chest and belly are soft. And back is nice and heavy, releasing, feeling the support of your mat. And letting the hips, the pelvis soften, feeling that connection of your glutes and your hips to the mat. Thighs relax, knees, shins, calves. Let the ankles be heavy and rooted. And let the feet soften. Using this as an opportunity, this quiet time just for you on the mat to release anything you're holding on to, anything you wish to disconnect from that's no longer serving you. And letting it drain out and float away. Creating space for new connections. slowly begin to bring your attention back to your breath. Slowly beginning to deepen each inhale and lengthen each exhale once more. And feeling this energy beginning to spread through the body and creating other movements, maybe in the fingers and toes, maybe gently rocking the head from side to side. Maybe bending the knees and drawing them into the chest, or taking one last full body stretch if that feels good. Whenever you're ready, bending the knees if they aren't already, making your way onto one side, and gently pressing yourself back up to a comfortable seat. Taking your time to arrive. And when you're finally in your comfortable seat, allowing the eyes to close or soften once more, sitting up nice and tall. And if it's comfortable, drawing the hands together at the heart. And sealing in your practice, leaving behind anything that didn't serve you on the mat, taking anything that did with you into the rest of your day. I thank you so much for joining me, for letting me guide you. Namaste.